Today we're using Valentine's Day as the setup. But what you're actually learning is how to use AI to plan anything that matters. Business launch, customer event, team retreat, facility opening, doesn't matter. Same framework, same AI moves, wildly different results than winging it. I'm Joe Downs, with me is Peter Swain. We're just a couple of successful idiots who figured out how to use AI to improve our lives and power our businesses. And that's what we're here to do today, Peter. True or false, by the way? AI gives better life advice than the royal family who thought Prince Andrew should do that interview.
I think you're referring to Andrew Mountbatten Windsor because he ain't a prince anymore.
That's right. That's right. Stripped his title. What's his title? Andrew of what?
That's his name. His name is Andrew Mountbatten. That's his middle name, Windsor.
Is that Andrew of St. James Island?
No,
I shouldn't.
He is no longer a prince or a duke.
Shouldn't go there on the Valentine's Day episode. All right, Peter. Before we get into it, I need to make a confession. I used to be, and Reed used to be, as still currently am, terrible at Valentine's Day, like embarrassingly bad, to the point where I've convinced my wife that it's a Hallmark holiday, and and we don't really do much about it. And look, what hit me about that, and some of that's maybe true, some of that's just probably, and more likely, it's the last minute, didn't plan for it. Then you feel awkward and terrible, and you make up excuses, and that's probably the category I fall into, if I'm being honest with myself, and saying this on a podcast for the entire public to hear. So I should also question my sanity at this point. But it hit me. I was running the same playbook sometimes in parts in my business, winging it, hoping it work out, scrambling at the last second. And that's what I think a lot of people go through when they realize, oh shit, it's Valentine's Day. It's 3 days away next week. In this case, it's Saturday, so everybody's got a whole week. How can you help us here, Peter? How does AI step in, save the day, and not even just save the day? Obviously, we're the day before, 2 days before, maybe we're talking about save the day. But how does it actually save us from having to save the day?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question, a great setup. So if you go back, if you've been listening to any of the episodes, then these are concepts you'll have heard before. If this is your first episode, it's great to have you here with us. But context is everything. So we've worked, Joe, on like a context document of like, who is your wife? Like, now, what you probably wouldn't have covered in that is these type of topics. What's her favorite type of food? What kind of gifts does she like? Is she somebody that is good at receiving gifts or bad at receiving gifts? Does a throwaway joke gift make her happy, or does it make her go, "Where's the Cartier?" Like what is the context of all that? And then the second question is that thing on you as well of like, well, are you relatively wealthy right now, or are you relatively not wealthy right now? Do you have spare time? Do you not have spare time? Context. So I would go through these same exercises, ask me questions, and I'll answer specifically in the remit of Valentine's Day. So you've got these two context documents. We did this, I think this was our first episode. We talked about Disney travel planning. Very, very similar kind of thing.
Yes.
So once we got those put together, I would then ask Claude or Gemini, whatever, to say, now give me 10 Valentine's Day suggestions based on this. And the important piece of this context, for this is going to confuse some people, AI is not very good at knowing what day it is.
I've noticed that, yes.
Which is like wild. So you need to say, by the way, it's 3 days away, and give it that context. So then you're going to get back these 5 ideas, okay? These are 5 date ideas ranging from extravagant to crazy to stupid to wonderful to cheap to poor, etc. And then what I want somebody to do is go through and say, okay, in option 1, I like the restaurant type you've done, but I'm not looking to go buy jewelry. In option 2, I love the idea of driving to the lake where we met, but I really don't like this. In option 3, I like this. And what we're not looking to do is Frankenstein them together ourselves. We're trying to give the AI more context. So I would go through and say, yeah, number 4, I don't like at all. Number 5, that's pretty good. Now go and regenerate me another 5. Right? And I would do the same exercise again. and the same exercise again. And it really isn't going to take very long until the 5 it gives you, you're like, wow, all 5 of those, really good.
All right. Well, I didn't intend for this to turn into a, Joe marriage counseling therapy session here, but this is this is where it's devolving. You made it sound so easy. So you started with, I feel like you started on third base there. It's just give it all the context. Do you remember a couple episodes ago or I don't know, the last episode a couple ago, we talked about helping the high school kids
Yep.
prepare and train for college. And actually, I think it was last week. And I talked about how the 16-year-old and 17-year-olds, they don't talk, right? This was regarding the go, no go, right? So as you were just talking there and making it sound so simple to give AI all this context about your relationship and your likes and your do's, your don'ts, whatever, I was thinking to myself, I am a 52-year-old version of the 16-year-old when it comes to this. I don't know what to say. So
Okay.
does this start with, and two-parter, which tool are we using here? Because I think your results could be different. And 2, what is the prompt by which, similar to the prompt we gave Vance and my son Deegan for, this is how you have Claude interview you. What is the prompt that I need to use as the adult? It's probably the same prompt. I realize I'm probably asking a stupid question here, but
No, there's a wonderful
mental
piece of
block
detail.
is in place, so help me through it.
So first of all, I would just always default to Claude. Like this is a Claude conversation.
Okay.
So the first thing I would say is, I need your help with Valentine's Day. Okay, that's like the ultimate context. Before you do anything, this is like a really important. Before you start suggesting stuff or giving me ideas, I want you to interview me around both myself and my wife or my husband's preferences in this area, e.g., food, presents, time, love language, if that's a thing that you practice or you framework that you follow. So the first thing is, I'm about to ask you to help me with this. Second thing, before we do that, do not do anything. Do not do anything, because before we do that, I want you to interview me so that we can do as follows. So that would be my rough prompt pattern for that, saying, I need your help with this. Do not do anything, because what we're going to do first is do this. Because then you don't need to know the type of, what you're saying is, not only do you not know the answers, you don't know the questions. If you say it's in the remit of Valentine's Day or the corporate retreat or the quarterly board meeting or St. Patrick's Day or the Super Bowl party, like we've got the Super Bowl coming up, I think it's probably the day this lands, like same thing. Of like, oh, I told my buddies we could all watch the Super Bowl together and I've done nothing. Exactly the same thing. So you're going to want to say, hey, I need your help planning my Super Bowl party. Before we do that, ask me questions around me and my buddies and who's coming and my family in order to understand the context that we're working with.
It's so, yeah, it's so obvious. It's just, there's that mental block, and I understand the mental block, because when I talk to people who, like I have physical therapists who I've been going to for my shoulder, and young girl, 27, and she still can't bring herself to, she doesn't know what to say. She's just, I have stage fright. I don't know what I need help with. I don't know what to use it for. And I feel like that's,
you know what you should say in that circumstance? Hey, these random successful idiots have told me I should use AI, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say, and I don't know what to get help with.
I actually told her that. And
like,
she still
just
hasn't
literally,
done it.
just tell it. Now, one of the things that I found I've been doing this for like 3 years now, and I've had people where I've say, just pretend that it's WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. So just pretend that you're talking to a human on the other side. Just do that. And
Yeah, but I
that's
think
been
for
successful
some
for some
people, I'm going to challenge you on that, because for some people, they know who the human on the other side is. and
Right,
they
and
and
pretend
they
it's
have
them.
context already with them, right? If I'm going to send you a text message, I have context with you, and I know why I'm sending you the message and what it's about, and you'll know. The AI is like talking into a black hole. If for some people, it feels like. So
I don't think that's completely true. I think what it is the phantom thought of what it will be like is that it's like talking into a black hole. Because the people that
okay,
I've
yeah.
run into that say they don't know what to say, if I look at their chat history, I find out they've said nothing. It's not that they've experienced it, because you and I both know as soon as you say I don't know what to tell you, you'll already be in a conversation. You're like, oh, well, apparently this is really easy. It's that first hurdle that is the hardest one to overcome, of suspension of, the Greeks used to call it suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
It's not about believing something, it's about suspending disbelief of something, which is why I say you can open up Claude or ChatGPT, you can type in Mary had a little lamb and just hit enter. It doesn't matter. As soon as you start that, you can go, oh, I get it. This is just a conversation. Understood. Got it. Let's do this. And I'm not denying or decrying people that have that kind of initial fear. I understand it. It's just you're going to find out very, very quickly that it was just a fear, not a fact.
Yeah. Okay, so we need to give it a lot of context. Who I am, me as the listener, who I am, who my significant other is that I'm looking to plan something special for, their likes, their dislikes, my dislikes. How about
Wait, but also you missed the biggest one, which is almost always the biggest one. Biggest one. What's your objective?
Oh yes, right. Sorry.
Like, now, and Valentine's Day is such a great example. Now, I'm not gonna be as crude as my mind is thinking right now, but your objective might be to get lucky.
Family show, Peter.
Your objective might be that. Your objective might be to scrape a C grade. Like, you might have just met somebody and you're like, it's a week before Valentine's Day.
Oh, good point. We've got spouse in the brain. What if it's you've been on one date? First of all,
100%.
why are you going on a first date right before Valentine's Day? You just made things awkward.
Okay, that's true as well. Because she said yes, and here's my number, and she's hot, so you're not going to say no.
You're busy until the 15th.
Right. So, is it to make them feel loved? Is it in your case? Is it just to check the box? Is the wrong words, but you're like, this isn't something I do. Or is it actually, hey, I've said this isn't something I do, so this is actually something I want to like really surprise her with?
Yeah.
Like,
I've got the single guy on my mind who's in that awkward situation. I'm like, yeah, it might be, look, I want to acknowledge, I want to say hi, but not too much. I don't want to seem too over the top. Like,
I don't want to raise expectations.
A dozen roses and a teddy bear is probably too much for a couple dates.
Yeah, and if you go for the Cartier or the Tiffany on the first one, then you've set the standard for the rest.
And then there's that. You got to baby step this thing.
Exactly.
Walk up the ladder.
Your objective, and I want to make sure we
just lost our entire female audience.
I think they can be grateful. like every time I talk into the relationship,
hopefully we'll understand we're trying here.
No, every time I talk into the relationship stuff, Joe, it's so crazy. I get men saying, "Oh, I don't think my wife would like that," and I get women saying, "Thank you. Can you please help my dumbass husband actually understand?" It's crazy.
I might have just demonstrated how dumb I am, but all right.
But also, let's talk about this from the other side as well. I don't think that men and women, as a generality, are very good at expressing to the other what their actual requirements are, what their needs are in that event. This might be part we talked about in the last show, how to have difficult conversations, how to say to your partner, hey, you want to win? This is what a win looks like. Just so you're aware. So there's two sides to this conversation. And everything we're saying also works for that corporate retreat. Like,
yeah.
What is the objective here? Are you trying to get promoted? Are you trying to prove that you're somebody? Are you trying to ingratiate yourself with your peers? Like, what is it you're trying to do from this?
It's the impact filter that Dan Sullivan created with Strategic Coach. What is the objective? What is the project? Who are the players? What are the details? What's involved? What does the successful outcome look like? And actually, I was going to, and what is at stake? What happens if we fail? Right.
Mhm.
Those are all the interesting questions that you need to answer, I think, for the context for it to be able to help you. But then if you take it to the next level, what and this is, you could probably talk yourself through this, folks, but I love hearing Peter's prompts because he's just been doing it so much longer and is so much better at it. What does a prompt sound like if I'm trying to say or express I want to put together, whether it's a you know a we'll say fifth date, because that seems like a safe time, safe number of dates to go out on Valentine's Day, but or all the way up to you've been married for 20 years or longer. What does a successful date look like with our profiles? What do people typically do in our area? What are some ideas? What does that prompt look like?
Okay, so I would first of all go through that context exercise of both of us. I would then ask it to give me the 5 ideas that it has, so I can yes, no, yes,
Ooh,
no.
what's trendy? What's hot? Are roses
Hmm.
overplayed as the teddy bear? Sorry, now I'm thinking.
Well,
See,
that comes
AI can
down.
get me going here.
Yeah, see, that comes back to the objective, because one of the objectives, if you're on that fifth date, that kind of space versus the 20 years, is you are telegraphing who you are through this event.
Mm-hmm.
And go back to the corporate retreat, same kind of thing. You're telling people a lot about yourself, because if you take her to the intimate restaurant, and I'm obviously going to use she and her because I'm a man, but
Sure.
for other people it could be the other way around.
Yep.
Now, if you're taking her to the an intimate small restaurant that isn't particularly great food, but it's where you met her, you're telling something about a romantic intention. Whereas if you take her to the flashy restaurant downtown, you're saying that, hey, I want to impress you and I want to impress other people. So I would go, that objective, I think, is really, really key, both for who you want to show up as and how you want them to feel. But the next bit, where this gets really interesting for me, is to now start leveraging AI. So if you're, and we've never discussed this, this is so cool.
Ooh,
So
talk
if
to me,
you're,
Goose.
well, you're like 6 7 days, 6 days away from the day we launch, this lands through to Valentine's Day. So now what we can do is say, hey, it's 3 days till Valentine's Day. Who can deliver flowers in that time? Go and look
Mm.
at the web for me. And it can go and do that quick search. Now, you could say, yeah, but I can do that on Google. Sure. But when I started out in the web, this is a true story. We were trying to explain the web to people, like, you can get any information you want about any subject whenever. You just go here. And people used to say, can't I do that at the library? And it's like, well, yes, technically, but it's different. Same thing here. Could you use Google? Yes, but it's different because it's got all that context that we've just gone through. It's not looking for a flower shop. It's looking for the flower shop that matches all of that context we just gave it.
All right, I'm gonna raise the bar here a little because
So,
I told you I like listening to you because you're not AI, but you're next best thing because you inspire my mind. So hopefully it sounds smart. What about using the co-creation prompt here? Because I'm thinking, I'm, the reason I don't like Valentine's Day is because it's so rote. It's flowers, it's teddy bears, it's dinner, it's cards, it's blah, right? And that's a little
well,
window.
that's what it is to everybody else. Doesn't mean that it has to be to
But
you.
I've also allowed it to be that way for me because that's the context in which I've allowed myself to just fall into. This is what this is, and it can't be different, which is obviously dumb. But where I'm going with this in the co-creation is, what if it helped you? And this, you would require more context about your significant other, whatever they may be, uh, about what's going on in their life. In other words, what if this particular year, week, they're having a particularly stressful week at work, or a particularly tough time with kids, or a friend, or an aging parent or grandparent, whatever. If they're having a really tough time, how can we use AI to weave that in to something that feels very romantic?
Exactly as you said, you literally just say exactly what you just said of, I'm really present to this being part of her reality, or his reality. How do I involve that? Could I involve that? Etc. Do you want a completely non-AI reframe, by the way, on Valentine's Day?
Sure.
And Liz knows this, and if she listens to this, I'm sorry that I said this in public. But I decided when I got married
Does she
that
call
the
you?
way to
She call you Pookie or something?
she'll punch me in the face for this one, but I decided that what I was going to do was score as many cheap points as possible. So what I try and do is find all the things that she really doesn't like that I really don't mind, and just nix those. So for example, Liz hates, for some reason, hates doing the dishwasher. So, and I'm like, well, I can just put my iPad on, watch an episode of Young Sheldon, and do the dishwasher. It doesn't faze me at all. So I just took this very transactional view to the whole thing of going, what are the cheap points that are on the table? If I can just find out all the stuff that she doesn't like, and I can just match that with the stuff that I don't mind, then I'm going to score these points that don't really require that much energy. My offering to you, as my friend and co-host, is that Valentine's Day is the cheapest points on the table. Like, all it requires is a letter that's handwritten that just says thank you for being you, with a signature folded up under a pillow with I know we don't do Valentine's Day, but
Can
I just wanted to say thank you.
Can AI help me write it?
Of course it can. Like,
You know,
that's my reframe for you. You're throwing away the cheapest points on the board
I
because you've
hear
bought
you.
into this vision from Hallmark.
Look, we all have our weaknesses. But what you just made me realize was, with your point system, what does Liz like? What doesn't she like? Or what doesn't she like that you don't mind? Where's the Venn diagram intersection there? That could be part of a. Sorry to bring this back to AI. That could be part of an ongoing, and should be part of an ongoing Rosetta Stone for your life. No,
Mm-hmm.
because then you
Right.
can
It
just
100% is.
ask AI, your wherever that document is stored, using whatever tool. What's the best way to make my wife or significant other happy today? It's Valentine's Day. Oh,
But these things
here,
are
you should do. Here's the low hanging fruit, Joe or Peter. You should do these
but these
things.
things are so related. I think everybody would have to agree. Human relationships are the hardest things in our lives.
Yes.
Like whether it's co-workers, staff, employers, employees. You know, for example, stupid example, Liz is allergic to tomatoes, which is one of the worst allergies in the world because it doesn't have to be declared.
I thought they were tomatoes.
I was Americanizing it for
Okay.
you, right? So, but I could care less. I could be like, okay, so I'm not going to eat that. That's okay. It's better to do it that way. But what I found out only a couple of years ago is Liz feels guilty that I no longer get to eat tomatoes because they're not in the house because she's allergic to them. So every so often I have to remind myself to go and eat something with tomatoes in it so that she doesn't feel guilty. Well, I don't actually care. I'm like, yeah, I can take it or leave it. But it's these weird nuances that you learn over time, and that AI is so good at, because everybody thinks I'm freaking weird for what I just said, which is true, I am. But AI doesn't think I'm weird. AI just goes, got it. That's who you are. Got it. That's who Liz is. Understood. Thanks very much. It's this ego-free, judgment-free zone of AI that allows you to be you in a way that you would never do with a friend or a colleague or a coworker or even a therapist or even a coach, and definitely not with your spouse. Like, AI is the ultimate confessional, but not just a confessional. It's a confessional that then adapts its advice and its strategy and its feedback to you. That's the biggest gift of this, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. It's certainly mind bending. No, so that's a really good thought. Um, I hate having to follow that with something logical and logistical, but
That's you.
I feel like we need to cover this.
It's also your job, isn't it? On this, in this again,
You
it's
don't
my
have to
job
make
to like go here, and your
you
job to
don't
go. No, let's go here.
you don't have to make it hard for me. Um, all right, logistics. So we can talk about the dinner, of course. But really, you already touched on the flowers part. How does AI help us with all of the logistics of this event? Because it's really planning a small event. If assuming you're going to have an event, you didn't just slip a note under your wife's pillow. Assuming you're going to do something, how can we lean on AI to really assist us
Mhm.
before before we're even using Moltbot or anything here? How does it assist us planning all the logistics? Because I think that's something that we could use for planning an event in business, or managing vendors.
100%. So I wouldn't say AI is at the stage yet where it can book the restaurant successfully. There is work being done on ChatGPT agent, Claude co-work. There's a lot of work in this space, but we are 3 to 6 months away from viability, probably 6. So right now, can it actually book the restaurant? No. Can it book the event space? No. But what you can do is say, okay, I want you to go and research each aspect of this. So if it's jewelry, go and find me the jewelry. Or if it's caterer for the corporate event, go and find me the caterers. Or if it's a Super Bowl party, what is the recipe for chowder? Because unfortunately, as a Jets fan, the Pats are in, so it's all about that. Anyway, let's not go there. It's trauma response. So you can get it to go and find the restaurant, or find 5 restaurants that match the bill, or find the limo, or the car hire company, or the caterer for the corporate event, or the insurance provider because you need public liability insurance for the corporate retreat, or. And once that's all done, the next thing you can ask it to do is say, okay, we're 5 days away. What's the plan? I'm busy. I have a life to lead. I've got work to do. How am I going to actually fit this in? Who do I call when? Like, what's the order? What's the priority? What needs to be done on what day? So it can go, well, the jewelry is going to take 5 days to order. So you're going to have to do that today. Or you're not going to be able to order it online. You're going to have to go to the shop. You're going to have to go to the mall to do that side of things. On the public liability, it's going to go, hey, getting insurance quotes back is at least a 3-day. So you need to do that right now. Or in my case, because I have in my instructions that it should always remind me where I can delegate, it's going to suggest to me, can't we ask this person on your team to do this? Can't we ask this person? So it's going to get it off my plate and actually write a day-by-day plan. This is what I did, again, going back to, I think, the first episode. This is what I did when we were going to Disney. It's like, we're 30 days away from Disney. What do I need to do before I go? And what order do I need to do it in? When do the restaurants get delivered? I wanted a bunch of stuff being delivered to the hotel before I got there. So how do I do that? So it literally gave me a day-by-day plan for 30 days that I could just consistently go back to that chat and say, okay, what's next? Or, I know you said I had to get the jewelry yesterday, but I ran out of time. So what do I do now? And it goes, well, here's 4 other suggestions. So this chat you're having is going to be a consistent conversation, dialogue, helper, assistant throughout that 5-6 day process. Preferably not on the date. I mean, that, unless you go to the restroom, I guess, and say, what do I say next? But,
That's great. Peter, yeah.
Fun extra tip.
Mm-hmm.
Get ChatGPT to write you a song, and ask it what can produce the song for you. There's a few AI song generation tools now, which are quite fun. The biggest one is Suno, Suno.com. You can, once you've done all those contacts, you can say, hey, can you give me the lyrics for a song on Suno? And then you can go to this site called Suno.com, paste in the lyrics, choose the music style. 10 seconds later, you've got a 3-minute song.
Juno? Is that what you said?
Suno.
Suno. My brain froze because I was so impressed. I was blown away by it.
It's so impressive.
All right, now let me ask you a question then, because I heard a conspiracy theory in the last year And I can't help but wonder if there's some truth to it. Are you familiar with Zach Bryan?
No.
Okay, so he's a kind of a pop country music star
Okay.
in the
Yeah.
U.S. Huge
I
in the
know.
U.S.
I know that. In fact, I think I do know who you're talking about. Yeah.
My son turned me on to him a couple years ago. Every album he puts out is incredible. They're short songs. They're catchy. I'm not even a huge country guy at all, but I like this. I love his music, and he's actually turned me on to some other more pop country artists. But here's the conspiracy theory. Somebody told me, I think it was last year. They said, I think he's using AI to write his songs. And I said, get out of here. But he just put out another album. Every song is really good, and it's mind blowing. Even the lyrics are like, what? How is this guy producing this? There's like 18 songs in these albums. How is he producing this many good songs this quickly?
Well, it's either AI or just multiple people that. I mean, Simon Cowell. This is the formula, right? You know, there is a formula to how music is successful and isn't successful. And some people understand it, and some people don't. I don't, but AI certainly does. So you could use AI to do it. But yeah, Suno will just produce you a song.
But these aren't simple songs. He's got multiple instruments going on. He's got harmonicas. He's now introduced horns, which I love. I'm a huge Dave Matthews fan because I love the multiple instruments. And he's introducing that. I don't know. It's probably a conspiracy theory. Sorry, Zach Bryan, you're probably not listening. But if you are, we're a huge fan. We're not knocking you. Just that's how impressed we are. Anyway, if you found this episode valuable, please like it because we like likes. They're a little dopamine. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And here's what I want you to do with this episode specifically, because it's about Valentine's Day. You got a deadline. I mean, we all have a shared deadline here, so share it with your friends. Save them from that last minute. The buddy who's probably me panicking on the 13th. What do we do? Trying to now convince himself and his wife that it's just a Hallmark holiday. Or your coworker who's planning that Q1 event and stressing about it. Your business partner who wings everything and wonders why things get chaotic. This is who needs to hear these episodes, folks. So, and honestly, if you use this framework to plan an incredible Valentine's Day, your partner's going to think you became a completely different person. Perhaps I know my wife will. So you didn't though. You just hired an AI planning partner. So, but you don't have to tell them that. And next week, I'm excited, Peter, for next week because we're going to be talking about the tough conversations that sometimes we need to have and we have trepidation about. And I might point out that if you don't use AI to plan your Valentine's Day coming up, you might want to be tuning in next week for the Tough Conversations episode.
Let's see where it goes. It's either going to be a victory lap or a fix and flip.
Exactly. Please don't forget to send your emails and anything you need help with. We'd love to cover that, break them down for you, show you how powerful AI is. We appreciate you. For Peter Swain, I am Joe Downs. We are your successful idiots. We'll see you next week.